And good time zone, everybody. Welcome again.
Hello.
It is Tuesday. I'm not sure what the weather is wherever you are, but over here it's been a very sunny day. I've been walking around in a t-shirt all day long, and I'm trying to get like very nice spring vibes today. And those spring vibes maybe translate well to this game. And the game we shall have tonight, and we have our 4 fantastic players with us again. Starting up in the top left, we got Serial joining us. Right next to Serial,
hello.
we have what I thought was Ida, but I think Ida has been murdered by the Nyanstick, and now we shall have Rayn played by a stuffed animal.
No, it is I. Fear not.
Oh, it is Ida.
Oh, my back.
Also joining us today is Austin, coming from far, far away to join us in this adventure. And finally, but certainly not least, is another additional drum roll, Caro, today here as well. How are you all on this beautiful Tuesday?
Doing great today. Honestly, so happy about everything.
Yeah, I feel the same.
I think part of it might be the weather, you know, just having better weather already like immediately helps, but lots of good news lately, so that's nice. What were you gonna say, Austin? Sorry, I think I cut you.
Oh, I just said I'm feeling good today. Ready for D&D.
I'm feeling good because I'm gonna do this.
You would?
Oh, no, yet.
Oh my!
How did you get to 50,000 already?
They haven't arrived yet.
Why is it a thing then? I've had this
ordered it.
since I've subscribed last year for this moment.
Oh no!
But fear not,
will-
Austin
as
is in
soon as-
preparation mode.
They've been ordered. As soon as they get
Okay.
here, I will wear them. I will start. I will
Wonderful.
do the whole next whatever stream after they get here.
I don't get to click it now.
Sorry.
Let it be known then, and put to the record, that as soon as these ears arrive, Austin shall wear them for the
They will
stream.
Glued
add it
to
to the
your
notes.
scalp.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of points, and I'm really looking forward
Well,
now
yes.
to those ears to arrive.
Me too.
I've just added it to the notes.
They are awesome. They are pretty awesome. I already have seen them before they were ordered. They are magnificent.
I think we
Oh
should
my
put
God, I
that
can't
into
wait.
the promo. Should put that into the promo for the next stream. Just like tune in if you want to see Austin. Not for the D&D and the adventures and the drama, but tune in to see Austin with cat ears.
This is a cat stream. I mean, there's cats, and then there happens to be some TTRPGs.
You know, we need a shadow picture of this before so that we can basically put it on our socials.
Yes. Everyone
as
must
soon as they
know.
get here, I will post a picture in the Horde of Tales Discord. So
So people should
another
come
reason
there.
to go join that.
Exactly. But
Perfect. This is
Before
this is
we-
A+ quality content.
absolutely. But before we get to
People
those
want.
ears and to that next session, we first need to make sure that there will be a next session, and that means that you, fellow players here, need to make sure that your characters make it alive and well to the next session. Now, I do not doubt your skill to achieve that, but I do think that last session we did start off the beginnings, or at least a hook for your next adventure. And that's what we should be getting to as soon as possible. But first, before we get started, let's do our round of quick introductions to who we are here. You are, because you came here voluntarily or rolled a 100 on the Wild Magic table on the Horde of Tales channel, and we stream tabletop RPGs, and on Tuesdays we do stream our D&D 5th edition Eberron game following the adventures of the Convergence Manifesto. The Convergence Manifesto is an adventure series written by the Across Eberron group, which you can find on their site of acrosseberron.com. So if you like what you see here in these adventures and you want to play them yourself, you can do so. You should totally check out acrosseberron.com. We have started last week and are thus now in the second session of our third adventure, Rime or Reason. And we do utilize Astral VTT as our virtual tabletop, and any music that you hear is from Dark Fantasy Studios. Thank you very much for that, Dark Fantasy Studios. The overlay that you see here is made by Caro, and the character artwork that you see on the overlay and later also in our little quick intro video is a cooperation between Caro and Serial. So thank you for that. And as you just have noticed,
do we have Sorry, I was gonna say it looks like we have like our own character animations. Like whenever Marcus says our name, we're like, "Hello."
It's indeed your idle animations in a video game.
Yes.
As you already noticed, also there are ways to spend your channel points. One of them being to spend the ridiculous amount of 50k channel points to get Austin to wear cat ears, but if you do not yet have achieved that amount of channel points, there are also other things that you spend them on. And one that we're really fond of here is the Cat Vantage. And it works really simple. Austin and I, we both have cats. Austin has more than I do, which I'm very jealous of. But if you see on our screens, one of our cats appearing and you have the channel points, you can use the Cat Vantage button. And when you use it, also tell us who you want to give Cat Vantage. Could be one of the players. Could be me if you want to, but you need to tell us who gets Cat Vantage, and whoever gets Cat Vantage rolls with advantage on their next roll. So give us some Cat Vantage for that sweet, sweet advantage. There's also some other silly things that you can spend your channel points on. They're not that important, but you can look into them.
I mean, there's a couple at the 5,000 point that are pretty neat. You should look into those.
Yeah. Well, just look at them, but the Cat Vantage is definitely the best one. With that being said, I don't think we have anything else that needs to be said. Should I just, roll our intro video and then we can get right into the Convergence Manifesto?
I just got really nervous. I don't know why.
All right, intro coming up. Back and blam, here we are again. So, when last we left our adventurers, you had just been given, after a little bit less than 2 weeks of your own personal downtime, your new job by the Clifftop Adventurers Guild. And what a job it is. You've been hired to make your way towards a mysterious island in the Thunder Sea known as Icewhite Isle. First of all, because apparently your rivals from the Deathgate Adventurers Guild had also set out there and haven't returned yet. But also, accompanying those rivals was none other than Darian de Laranda, family member and rival,
dickhead,
acquaintance of the party, who seems to also not have to return yet from Icewhite Isle, and his sister, Madrith de Laranda, wants to see if he is still alive and try to at least get his body back. After all of you spent almost 2 weeks of downtime, you came together to agree on this job. You got some payment up in front, and you were told that you have the rest of the day to make your preparations before you will leave in the morning of the coming day for your next mission. And we left you all at the end of the last session as you left Guild Handler Lara's office, as Rayn shared some juicy information with Delphine about who might have been behind the attempt at her life. And we're going to pick up just a little bit after that. Picture your party still in the compound of the Clifftop Adventurers Guild. You're not anymore in front of Guild Handler Lara's office, but you might be somewhere else in the building as you do your preparations. To give you a bit of an indication of how much time you have left, at this point, it's late afternoon in the day. I'd say it would be like 3 in the afternoon at this point. And you've been asked to make sure that you're ready to leave the next morning. So you basically have the rest of the afternoon and the evening for whatever business you would like to do to prepare. And that leads me to the question, adventurers, what would you like to do?
Well, I would suggest we go to the library again. I know we're just there, but this mission seems deadlier, if possible, than our previous ones, seeing as how the previous group didn't return. I would like to find out as much information as possible on the location where we're going.
But I am not at the library. I am right here before you.
Do you happen to know the location?
Fortunately? Unfortunately, yes.
I apologize, I wasn't aware. Then, how about we go... What is the word? Chill with the drink? I don't know what that has to do with temperature, but that's what people say. And we can discuss what you know about the place and maybe see what kind of equipment we should get before all the stores close. Yes?
Well, we do have the entire guild's disposal of whatever equipment they have on hand.
I'm not wearing this shitty cloaks again. They are ugly, they are uncomfortable, and they are hinder my movement.
Yeah. Besides, we've just been given a decent amount of money. Why not see what's available for purchase?
Well then.
Rayn, do you have any particular preference on where we should go to have a conversation?
But DM would, since Rayn did spend her downtime, did she pick up somewhere? If there's nothing interesting otherwise, I'd recommend that we go to that first bar we did in like session 0.
I think that would be, if you're looking for a place to just impromptu go to have your conversation, that would be the best place. Just quickly looking up again what the name of that place was. There was indeed a fancy bar.
The Drunken Dragon Tavern.
That was a good one. Thank you very much.
Control F. Did you get the wrong one?
The Drunken Dragon Tavern indeed would be a suitable place to go to, and it's not too far away from the Clifftop Adventurers Guild to get there. So you could actually, even if you wanted to, still do a little bit of shopping for maybe better looking winter clothes. You could still do that and then wind down at the Drunken Dragon.
How about I meet you there in, say, 2 hours?
Sounds
What are
good.
you planning? That's quite some time.
Shopping.
Well,
but
fair enough.
we don't know what we will need. Isn't that a bit counterproductive? Do we know when the shops close?
Many shops, at least in the districts that you would visit, many of them are on kind of a 24/7 deal. So there's not you could find many shops that are open even at night.
Well, then let's have our drink first. But I think it's a bit folly to think one can plan for everything.
Well, certainly not for everything, but better to be prepared, don't you think? Is there a reason you don't want to talk about the place?
By all means, let's go talk about it. I just simply didn't want to bore you with minutiae of an arcane user's shopping. I am quite thirsty, so let's go.
Oh, I see.
So are all of you together gonna leave the Clifftop Adventurers Guild and follow Rayn or on wherever she wants to go to do some shopping?
I think we can do drinks first and then disperse and then the thing.
It's always best to be slightly intoxicated before you go shopping.
Yes.
So, makes sense to me.
First some drinks and then the shopping, right? So the four of you leave the Clifftop Adventurers Guild and make your way to the district of Upper Dura, where you come to the Drunken Dragon, which is also one of those 24/7 establishments and seems to always have at least some guests making their way into the building underneath the illusion above the door, showing this lounging red dragon leaning against the wall, having this large mug in his hand. And just this illusion is programmed in a way that every time someone steps over the threshold, that dragon just looks down a bit and points down with a smile like, hey, welcome. And
Dythun spends some time walking in, walking out, walking in, walking out.
The ogre bouncer there just looks at Dythun doing that a few times, and then the ogre says, I think you're the first prankster who finds that funny.
Oh, I don't really care if being the first, if anything. I just do what amuses me.
Good one. Get in, idiot.
All right.
And you find a table for the four of you. It's at this time of day. It's not as crowded as it could be. Last time most of you were here, it was later in the evening, and that's usually when the Drunken Dragon gets a bit more busy. But there's still quite a few people here. There's a nice table that you can sit at and enjoy quick rounds of drinks, which are served whatever kind of liquor or drinks you prefer. The Drunken Dragon can provide it. Is there anything specific you would do while you're having drinks, or is it just basically getting a few drinks in before you go on a bit of shopping and any other business?
So you wanted to know about where we're going?
Indeed.
I think it'd be best at least to, as you said, we can't prepare for everything, and trying to do so would waste more time than anything, but it's probably best to know more than it's very cold.
I think that is unfortunately the gist of the whole matter. It is extremely unnaturally, some might say arcanely cold due to the influence of the plane of Risia that is manifested there. It is it is a very isolated place away from much civilization. It is very difficult to travel there.
Yes.
And constantly surrounded by storms that impede all manner of travel. And the island simply sports a vast openness of blisteringly cold, ice-shearing storms and all manners of creatures that thrive in such environments.
So, let me resume everything. It's fucking cold. There are tons of creatures that are loving the cold.
Oh, yes.
And we might already die trying to arrive there.
Probably.
Cool. I mean...
You said there's an influence of another plane there?
Yes, this is what Laura mentioned.
Yeah,
Oh no, was it? Was it not? No, it was
Laura
not.
Laura and as Madrith also mentioned that there's that's kind of known that there's this manifest zone of the plane of Rizia is on Icewhite.
Which is the plane of
ice and frost and cold.
I thought it was the fire
okay,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
But
That's
we needed to bring anything back to Laura.
Your cousin, for starters.
Laura isn't interested in my cousin.
For the purposes of the mission, yes. Oh, and whatever the Deathgate Guild was there to hunt, which we do not know.
Oh, that was the thing.
Isn't it kind of strange? Everywhere we've gone so far seems to have one of these planes of influence. Like even back at the forge was powered by a connection to a plane, right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Well, that's what I've been saying. I think it's pretty obvious that Guildmaster Lara is collecting objects connected to a variety of the planes. I don't know if all of them, but
and
I tried to find out some information in the library. But
and what if we are bringing her just a random stone back and saying like, yeah, this was the special item that they wanted to get, and it's just a plain damn stone.
I can be rather persuasive even when it comes to non-truths, but I think I wouldn't be able to sell that.
Well, it does raise the question, does she actually already know what they're after?
Most likely not, because she said we should bring what they were after, so she didn't even actually said, like, bring me that and that. It was like, whatever.
It's whatever could have driven them to go on a suicide mission to involve a head figure or someone influential in the House of Larander and get whatever they were getting.
Don't put him higher than he actually is.
Fair enough.
But what is so complicated about someone of power perhaps obtaining other things of power? That seems to be the most simplest and common truth everywhere that exists.
You're not wrong.
I'm still very curious about why one single person, be it Lara or whoever she's working for, have so much interest in such powerful items, but like some of you mentioned before, that is none of our business really, to consider if we're doing something helpful or harmful. I do think she will expect us to come back with something interesting, at least if it's possible, either with an interesting item or nothing at all. Like Rayn said, it would be difficult to make her believe that these people and your cousin went there for nothing.
But then the thing is...
wait.
Okay, yeah, continue.
No, yeah, I just wanted to ask, are we actually worrying about this? Like, are we going to be concerned and want to look more into it, or are we just doing our job?
To be fair, I doubt that she actually knew what was going on there with the other guild. Because it seems like she just got to know about it when that stuff already happened. So I highly doubt that we would have sent there to retrieve something if it wasn't like for this specific thing.
I mean, if I had the means, I for sure would also be, if not collecting such items of power for myself, perhaps hiring other astute and fledgling adventurers to do it for me as well. Let's see, what else is there to know? Dythun, I couldn't help but recognize, but notice and also admire a bit. You're also a penchant for the arcane, specifically that little fire thing you did.
Or that.
That little fire thing you did.
Yeah, that. What about it?
GM, does Rayn know the mechanics of a Remoras? Because of who she knows that was there and did those things.
She would understand, know the creature. She would know that it's certainly not native to where she grew up, that it's one of the more dangerous land-dwelling creatures. And she would be aware of its capabilities.
Gotcha. So one would assume that in a land covered in ice and cold and snow and wind, that some creatures would be more vulnerable to fire. That's not the case all the time.
So, okay. So what are you saying?
Like preparing against the cold or like with fire?
I'm saying that if we encounter any sort of creatures and monsters that inhabit Icewhite Isle, not to assume automatically that fire would be something that is effective against them.
Oh, right.
Well, but it would be worth a try, yes?
Well, I always enjoy saying I told you so, but you're welcome to.
Well, okay, let me ask it a different way. There's not much that's not still hurt by fire, right? Whether it's more effective or not. Fire from 50 feet away is better than a sword when I can't hit them, so...
We are all very creative individuals. I'm sure we will manage to make... Oh, and should we come across a particular creature that is rather serpentine, scaled, and many-legged, I would like one of its fangs, please.
Sounds like something I want too.
Sounds like a dragon.
It is not a dragon, and it is something particularly important to my people. And something I would have never been imagined to be owning.
Haven't you broken up with your people?
Broken up is a bit strong to say. I am gallivanting about, with or without their approval.
Most likely without.
If they wanted to stop me, they could have.
Okay, wait a sec. You said like your people are sending frequently or sometimes people from there tribes, folks up to that island to fight there and stuff. So, what happens if we are, by some strange meanings, encounter one of your people on that island and they just decide, oh yeah, they know you, they need to bring you back?
Well, they're welcome to try, but they are going to fail. Besides, I don't think it's in their interest to want me back either.
I was gonna ask, that does raise the question, are your people actively trying to bring you back, or?
I haven't turned around to look.
Fair enough.
Should we be looking? I understand that you might not want to get too deep in this topic, but it might be a danger to us all or to the mission. I don't know if it will be. I do not have enough information to confirm that yet, but I would like to obtain that information in order to be prepared.
I'll just like put my drink down, like lean forward, and even though Rayn's face is a bit like kind of smiley and open and jovial, she says this with like absolute seriousness. I honestly do not know.
Well,
okay.
Fair enough.
One question. Do you plan on ever returning back, or you're basically saying, fuck them all?
I might return back if I were in a means and position and holding power enough to say I was right the whole time and I'm here to rub your noses in it.
That does sound very Rayn-like.
Thank you.
True.
I don't think they would be necessarily unhappy to see me. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I was the bad sort of weird. We're concerned about, for example, Rebus here is concerned about this individual they don't know amassing things of power. I'm pretty sure my people were very concerned when I started amassing powers that were not understood to them. Everyone in my people has some manner of magic, but I tapped into more taboo places, more unexplored places for my sources of power.
Dythun raises his drink.
Did you get a contract with some kind of sea hack?
No.
No, just interest.
I wouldn't mind talking to one. I see the TM's gears turning.
Don't mind the DM. Just sitting here listening in on a good conversation.
This whole conversation, there's probably been like 8 notes the DM has made.
Oh, this is good stuff.
Well, before
This
we
is
say
fine.
anything,
It's fine. It's
party,
fine.
The party should go for drinks more often.
But as Delphine said, I'll share the basics with the viewers as well. Icewhite Island not only is this very cold place, but Tritons in our Eberron go there. Triton warriors go there as a means to test their mettle. They take only themselves and only their golden armor and their golden shields and their golden swords, and it is their task not only to survive the trip there, which is a very, very long swim against torrential currents and storms, but to get up onto the island, fight these large creatures, collect the fang, survive, and make it all the way back. And beyond that, there's this very old practice among the Triton people as well, where if a criminal who is sentenced to imprisonment wishes to cut their sentence short, can agree to head to said island and also survive and collect back a fang from one of these dangerous creatures. But this is more likely a complete suicide because these are untrained, these are criminals, they have none of their equipment and none of their martial prowess to survive. So this option is like very legendary and old on the books, but never enforced kind of old law. But every now and then, Triton warriors go, and trouble or not, most make it, but not very easily.
And so you share that with the group as well, right?
Yes. This is me like quickly sharing that information.
I think as soon as that's stated, Dythun would say, "Have you ever done it?"
I am not a warrior of this. That was to be my path once upon a time, but I had other plans for myself.
Well, maybe you'll have a chance still.
That's why I want the fang.
So basically, to prove your family right or wrong, that you're still like badass as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fair point.
I will accept this information and not try to understand it. My cogs are having a hard time already. But I respect it, Miss Rayn. What would you like to do before going? What does your gut tell you? As they say.
Well, if trained Titan warriors go with basic equipment and their skills, I think we have a fair shot, provided we are upped on things that can heal us, simple measures against the cold. It will be cold no matter what sort of equipment you have. Whether it's good looking or not.
Well, that's still important.
What might be important and accessible information to all of you is, even though like you already wore gear against the cold while you were in the Grey Wall Mountains, that was a natural cold that you experienced there. It was just cold because you're up in the mountains. As far as you know, you're going to a place where it's going to be unnaturally cold, because that's a cold that comes from an actual other plane. So you might want to take that also into consideration on how warm you want to dress.
Well, my plan was to get like some potions against the cold. Or to get more resistance to it, since
magical means. Yes, that might be smart.
Well, I mean, there's only one way to do that. That's to, go shopping.
Do we need anything else?
I do recall in the mountains there was some trouble establishing a shelter.
So you want to get some tents?
A tent would not survive the winds, I think, should there be a storm. But something to keep in mind. Perhaps there is something arcane or magical, some other solution. Perhaps digging down would be a solution. I've never had to camp before meeting any of you.
Yeah, so you said there are a lot of creatures in there, and the people from your folks who go there have hard time. So who else of us is able of providing healing if necessary? You all buy yourselves healing potions.
Yes, certainly. I can only repair minor things on myself, so... And knowing how we've been doing on our past missions, that would be smart.
Oh wait, if you digging down, even if digging down might provide some shelter from winds, if you see a burrow or a hole already existing, do not go into it.
Well, that's good to know.
Reason?
Something will be hungry, and you will be offering yourself to that hungry thing. You know.
Right, well.
So, okay, potion against the cold, healing potions for you all. Anything else? How long do I want to stay there?
I assume till the mission is complete or until we are frozen solid and die.
Then we need something to eat.
I think you're...
Feather tokens, because it seems like if we're going there again with an airship, there is no possible way that they can stop land or anything there. And out of the previous situations, I will not take in any of these feather tokens from them anymore. Fuck them.
Just stay near me. I look at everyone. I'll ensure you fall safely.
That's right, we've done it before.
Spare your spells.
Magic.
That's what it's there for.
You might need it later.
I prefer to be magicless and out of resources, as long as I'm standing side by side with you.
That's good, but get feather tokens.
So,
is it a particularly mountainous region?
There are mountains
I'm
and
sure
there are
from picturing it.
valleys. It's a rather diverse geography, I would say.
Well, I'm trying to calculate the risk of falling and if we would actually need feather tokens in case we weren't around you, or if it's a low enough possibility that it might not be worth it.
The one thing about falling is that you never expect to fall, so...
Do we need more rope?
Yes, but...
always.
I think we have rope.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking about
Okay,
if we are finding Darian's frozen up body and we need to bring it back. I'm not carrying it.
Well, I think we all have plenty of rope. I'm pretty sure.
I will clean out the guild's supplies tonight.
Do they have potions?
Unsure, otherwise. We are in Sharn. I heard it's a magical town.
Yeah, but if we can get a couple healing potions for free, then
you would know that as part of you being, at this point, regularly contracted adventurers, that at least a certain amount of basic potions of healing, so the most common version that you could requisition those from the Adventurers Guild Quartermaster. Any kind of more powerful healing potions, you would have to check with the Quartermaster, or have to go by yourself.
Well, why don't we start there? Let's go back, see what we can get without having to go buy anything, and then we know our shopping list from there on out.
Do what you wish.
Seems okay.
Okay. He just finishes his drink, sets it down.
Finishing up the drinks at the Drunken Dragon, and I assume then that you continue to doing your shopping. Now, we could run the nitty-gritty detail of all the shopping, but I think you all of you kind of figured out the basics that you want to look for. Basically, you need some sturdy, warm clothing, if possible, good looking. You need you need possibly some extra ropes, some way to set up camp, maybe sturdier tents, ways of building a temporary shelter, at least, that is not going to get blown away by the first cold storm that you approach. You want to check in for some
if possible, something arcane in that regard. I don't know how easy it will be to find some kind of arcane shelter, but like if there's some kind of dome or construction or just like a tent that has been magicked to be stronger.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
What you would find in the collection of the Adventurers Guild is all the cold weather clothing that you need, any kind of additional layers that you need. If you need multiple layers of jackets and stuff, they have it in their storage and you can use it.
What color are
they? Many of them are a very dull gray and brown.
Yeah.
And there's a few there with a little bit of a already washed out and palish crimson to them.
I want that one.
Understood. And most of them are really in these brown and grayish colors with, at best, some kind of colored patches on them where there had to be some fixing done. Like there's like some of them they have like at the elbow, they have like a purple or blue patch on there to fix up whatever kind of hole or tear came into the clothing. That's something that you can get from the Adventurers Guild. If there's any kind of additional rope you need, it seems that if there's one thing that adventurers usually need, it's rope, and the Clifftop Adventurers Guild is stocked with it. So if you you need any additional length of rope, you could easily take them with you. Keeping in mind, however, that you also need to carry that with you, and a full coiled up length of rope might be quite unwieldy to carry, unless there's a better way of transporting it.
It might be exactly 10 pounds.
Yes, for 50 feet, it's 10 pounds.
Exactly. Which...
that adds up quick.
Exactly, so you keep that in mind for any kind of rope you want to take with you.
Do we want to take 100 extra? Just in case.
I mean, sure.
It's quite some...
Okay, dumping it on Dythun.
I was going to offer anyway. But...
I cannot carry it.
Yours now. Your problem.
Not my monkeys, not my zoo.
Get some extra rope there as well. It's the rope itself is also of pretty good quality, by the way. It's very sturdy, well kept. So the Adventurers Guild,
Mountaineers climbing kits.
They also have those available.
That's true.
It's one of the typical needs, so you can also get those. Part of that mountaineer climbing kit are also like these spikes that you can attach to your boots and to your shoes. All of them are still in acceptable quality, though some of those look like they have been fixed or reforged a few times, but they're still going to do the job. They're going to still pierce through ice to give you some more sturdy grip on things. And even through rocks if you need to. The Quartermaster of the Adventurers Guild also would be able to provide you with some sturdier tents. This is a non-magical solution, but what the Quartermaster basically explains is that they have these kind of small tents that can fit 2 persons each, and when put up, they are fairly low. Like they're not like a dome, like a regular tent or like a teepee. They're very low and close to the ground, so you cannot stand on them. You have to lie in them, but that allows them to. They have less surface for the wind to blow against. So you basically can put those up. You crawl into them. You close them up, and you're at least protected from the wind, from the snow, and to a lesser degree from the cold. But yeah, you might want to still keep your winter clothing on while in the tent.
I say we should get 2 of those.
How many potions do we get from them?
Now, for the basic potions, are just as the lowest kind of healing potion that you can get. They can provide you with in total 5 of those for this.
Okay, taking all 5, putting them into my my satchel.
All right, so that's 5. That's of the lowest type of the 2d4 plus 2 healing that you can get. They do also have a single greater healing potion in stock that you could get for this.
Like, do we pay for it, or is it just we can?
Part of the deal. That's the that's the last one they have. That would be then the type of the 4 plus 4 healing.
Taking this as well.
All right, so all the potions are on. These 6 potions are on Delphine. Gotcha.
Yep, because I know weight and it.
All right.
I'm hoping I updated my money correctly, but I think so.
We can figure that out later.
So we need rations.
Yeah. The rations can also there just be provided by the Adventurers Guild anyway, and you would also hear that for the journey aboard the ship of Madrith, you would also be provided with food by her and her crew.
Let's say calculating of like 4 days for each person. We are 4 x 4 8 16. Okay.
Right. And that would, if I think that was basically like the basic needs that you were looking for. Any kind of additional kind of items you might want to look for. You can go you still have some time left to go out in Sharn and try to look for something, but I would like to know if there's anything specific you would like to look for.
Rayn sachets away and does arcane shopping.
Does arcane shopping. Okay.
Oh, I will look for like potions like against the cold.
Okay.
Cold resistance, generally potions that make you that make cold to you harmless. Whatever is there.
Gotcha. Dythun, what are you gonna look for?
With
I want a new sword.
you want a new sword? You want a new sword?
I don't know if I could afford a new sword, but Dythun wants like he wants something that hits harder.
He wants to go window shopping and try his luck.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Rayn did her window shopping before the session.
Exactly. We'll get back to that, but Ida and I already had a little conversation about that. Rebus, is there anything you would like to check for, or are you basically just, as you put it so eloquently, chilling for the rest of the day?
I do not particularly need anything else. I would help to buy the healing potions if that's needed, or make help with some of the cost. Apart from that, it seems like we're set, and I don't need anything particular.
Right.
Even though I would like to go window shopping with Dythun in case there's some interesting weapon upgrades.
Yeah,
I could get.
Gotcha.
Rebus is more than welcome to come along.
And apart from that, once we've done the window shopping, I'll leave Dythun to the rest of the shopping, and I will go to the library to actually try and find out if there's anything on this place. Just because having more knowledge calms me down.
Good to know.
I got
All right.
with anxiety. Thank you very much. I need to take care of it. So.
All right. For the sake of brevity, I'm going to abbreviate some of these shopping things then. To basically put them together in a bit of a montage as you spread out across Sharn. We have like a split screen, everyone going off into their own directions. We see Rayn doing some happy shopping, some of which we get back to later. Delphine, if you're looking for potions of cold resistance, that's something that you can find in Sharn. You can find a shop that sells these, and you could get potions of cold resistance, which would allow you, after you drank them, to get resistance to cold damage for 1 hour. Those would be 200 gold pieces per piece, per potion.
What the fuck? For like 1 hour, 200. No.
I cannot afford that.
Basically,
a potion of nice warm feeling. Is that a thing?
There's a huge difference between the time it's usable and the price.
You want to try to haggle with the merchant in this?
Like 1 hour is too less.
1 hour.
Way too less for the price that I need to be.
The merchant would tell you that one of the reasons that this is expensive is that they need some very expensive ingredients to make these, and they're whoever can make these, those people, they're in popular demand, so they want to earn some money themselves. And that you, as the humble customer that you are, you have to pay for that.
They are not just standing around?
Like the potions?
Yeah, kind of.
Aren't you gonna nap one?
I mean, your family wants to kill you already, so...
Yeah, right?
It's like, you could like feign a bit of disinterest, wander around the store, make a bit of a distraction, and try to steal one if you want to.
Wow.
You will, if you go do that, I would like to see a sleight of hand check from you.
200 is pretty. Okay, first I try to haggle it down.
So, all right, the shopkeep is a human man who is very sure about his prices. But give me a what kind of price are you trying to haggle it down to?
At least 100.
Give me a
Sorry.
give me a persuasion check, please.
That was a mean laugh. Good luck.
I'm professional persuasion. Come. Yeah, I'm not very persuasive.
What's the total?
So I rolled a 1, I have 5, so no.
As you offer up those 100 gold pieces, you already see the man. He does this polite smile at you, like the politest customer service smile you can imagine. And he just, however, then takes like the potion and puts it back in the rack. Like, yeah. And then he pulls up this little glass container with like these little candies in, puts a fistful on the table. Like, I could interest you into something that's more within your budget.
Are those candies of cold resistance?
They look like delicious mints.
Oh.
Oh, so they make, so when you breathe in cold, it's like twice as worse.
Shit.
But he put the potions out of reach, so.
Well,
Wait a second.
Oh. Yes, please.
Oh, you could
I
charge
own
it
a
to
name,
Darian.
even though I don't like to use it that much, but like, and I will basically put out the fact like that I belong to the Lyranda household, and if he wants a proof, he can get it. And like, I would like to buy this potion on behalf of Darian.
Open a tab in his name.
Yes, exactly. He's not there anyway, we need to save him. So, even if he's dead.
He puts the mints on the counter. He looks at you as you say that. And he just frowns. What kind of proof do you have that you are Loranda? I mean, don't get me wrong, I would never assume that one of my customers would lie, but what kind of insurance do I have?
Okay. Basically, slipping off the top part of my blouse, still covered, so and showing my back with the mark of the stone.
Rayn is drooling in a different part of town and she doesn't know why.
You reveal like the top like your shoulder where this mark of the storm is peeking out of.
Yeah, it's on the back. It's not on the back.
Yeah. So as you show your back to him, you can't really see his face right now, but to the audience that might be watching in that angle, they see he first had like this smile and then he sees the mark and he goes, "Oh, well,
like what you see?
Yes, but not in that way, lady.
Rayn likes it in that way.
I'm very sorry. I understand that House Loranda might requisition these and request these for the humble task to go on, but you must understand the price of 100 gold pieces. A man must make a living. Sharn is expensive to live in. Have you seen the rental prices here?
Oh, well, no. Exactly, no. You know.
Oh, of course, yes. I assume a Loranda does not have to rent an apartment
But if you will put this on, like, the tab of, like, one of my cousins. Like Darian de Loranda.
Oh! Are you...
I'm pretty sure he will pay for it quite handsomely.
Can you give me one more persuasion check, please?
Please, don't betray me.
Maybe offer a deposit, and then Darian picks the rest. I don't know.
Yes. God. Ah, this is a 16. Gosh.
You see him like look into the shelf where you put the potion back, and he says, "I need a bit of financial insurance, lady."
And I give him 150.
Well, I shall then make sure that the rest of these prices of the payment will then be forwarded to the Loranda Enclave to Darian the Loranda,
Exactly, yes.
And your name was, milady?
Ah, fuck it. You can call me Delphine.
Delphine de Loranda.
Exactly.
Very well. All right. Thank you for the transaction. Here is your potion of cold resistance. I hope it will keep you warm in the coldest places, and I thank you for your patronage.
Thank you so much for offering me this.
Would you like a few mints with that as well?
No, thank you. I hate mints.
Sorry. Hate?
And he takes the mints and puts them back into the jar.
But thank you anyway.
You're welcome. And you have acquired a potion of cold resistance.
Yeah.
While that is happening, and in some part of Sharn, Rayn is drooling for reasons unknown to her, Dythun and Rayn, you have arrived with your window shopping, and you have found just a shop that Dythun might enjoy. But please tell me if you enjoy the following description. You have arrived at this, in this little alley, and most of it is taken up by this shop that has, hanging above the entrance, is this great axe crossing a longsword, and there are racks with weapons out in the streets with price labeled on them, all of them very finely forged and well presented. And you, as the two of you already approach this this little bazaar of weaponry, you see stepping out into the street with a few more weapons on his arms is this dwarf who's stepping out. He has this he has a bit of his entire head is bald, and he doesn't have a full beard, but he has this very thick mustache over his top lip. And he steps out into the streets as the two of you approach, and he sees you approach and says, "Ah, what a great day to meet new customers. Welcome. Are you looking for anything specific here? Any kind of instruments of war, fighting, or just elegant swordsmanship are you interested in?"
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. The name is Dythun.
Ah. Dythun.
Yes. Don't worry about the spelling. I'm curious if you have anything, unique.
Unique.
Yes.
A unique weapon, I assume.
Well, I wouldn't come to you looking for a tea set, if that's what you're asking.
I thought you wouldn't. Well, and he looks at you, and he also looks at Rebus with you. I think the two of you could indeed do with a little bit of a fine accessory. Come, step into Unther's shop. The name's Unther. I'm Unther. Just Unther. I don't do last names. Come, join me.
So
I can
first
respect
name
that.
Just, second name Unther. Unther, just Unther.
Just Unther, yeah. So just Unther steps into his shop, and the shop itself is also filled with all kinds of weapons: small daggers, large javelins, even larger broadswords. But there's also these glass cases and shelves with very finely made weapons. And
Immediately go to those.
the one that you probably would draw your attention is one containing a javelin, a beautiful wood and steel javelin that has a bit of a there's a glowing sheen to it, and as you look at it, where it's held up in this glass case, you sometimes see these little sparks fly over it. And Unther, who has he has a jacket on, and he puts his hands to hold at the what do you call it? The
collar?
The collar, exactly. He puts it to the collar of his jacket, and he stands up next to the glass case. Well, if you're looking for something special, I had just got this one imported from the Dwarven Maror holds. It's a javelin, as you see. You know what to do with a javelin, don't you? You throw it. And you throw it hard. And this one here, if you throw it actually, it turns into lightning itself. Isn't that amazing?
That's very interesting. How do I get it back? What if I miss?
You pick it up where it lands.
Picking up lightning. That's interesting.
Oh, it doesn't stay as lightning, lad. It becomes lightning when you throw it, it hits, and then it becomes this again.
Interesting. I like that. Do you have anything more one-handed, close range? I like to get up close and personal.
Close range, getting up close and personal. I see, I see.
I do like this. Don't get me wrong.
Well, and he moves over, still holding his jacket. He moves over to another glass shelf, and on this standard, there is a fairly ordinary-looking longsword. And it just has a very beautifully crafted hilt and guard on the hilt. See, now this one here. Do you ever find yourself in situations where you need to break down a wall?
More often than you'd expect, probably.
I thought you look like the wall-breaking type. Well, whoever made this weapon, called it Shatter Spike. Now, it's a sword, and I know swords are not known for their wall or object-breaking capabilities. It's, but use it to hit something that's not living, an object, so to speak, and it's pretty efficient against it. Oh, and also if you hit something that is living, it's pretty good at hitting things and cutting.
I assume the sword would be, yes. How much for the javelin?
Javelin? Well, I polished it this morning, but I give it to you. I understand that you don't like the idea of having to pick it back up. So...
It's just where we're going is quite windy.
Yeah, and then it flies off and it changes the angle and you don't know where it lands. Yes, all that kind of deal. Yes. You lose it before you know it. Oh, shame. You know what? 250 gold pieces.
250? Polished it this morning, you said?
Oh, yeah, freshly polished.
What if I wanted both of them?
Both of them? Oh, well. And he looks at Rebus at this point. Mr. has deep pockets, doesn't he? Well, both of them. I really like this.
Sadly, so
oh, well.
it's less of a spending type and more of a not dying type.
I see you. No use of coin that you have on your corpse, right? That's what my uncle used to say.
Smart man.
Both. Not so smart. He got hit by rocks in an avalanche while he was warned to not go out in the mountains because there was an avalanche warning.
And how much coin did he lose there? Probably
Which
a lot.
mountain specifically? Can we find his body?
Would you like to mark it on a map? No.
But let's not talk about my dead foolish uncle. But
Yes,
you wanted
no.
both of these items. Both of them together. You know what? Both of you look like very dandy people and good business. How about we say 800 for both of them together, and you just put out the word for Unther's Weapon Emporium. Just Unther's Emporium.
Tell you what. I'll get the javelin.
Hmm.
And if I make it back alive,
Hmm.
I'll see about coming back for the sword.
Hmm.
Or whatever else you might have at that point.
Now, and he steps up to you and he gives you like a pat on your shoulder or tries to reach your shoulder. I'm a businessman. You are a businessman. You have a deal, good sir. 250 for the javelin, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to keep that in the back for you.
Oh, no, by any means. Don't hinder your business for me. What kind of customer would I be if I prevented you from making money?
The sovereign host be blessed. What kind of perfect person has wandered into my store? very well. 250 for the javelin, then.
Yes. He'll
Very
reach
well.
out his hand.
No. Shakes for the deal. Gonna pack it up for you and everything. And he,
I'll just take it.
Just gonna strap it to your back. Walk out my
Yes.
shop with the new javelin.
You know what? I might just hold it. Give it a twirl, you know? Why strap it?
Wow. Well, and he gets it like after you give him the coin and everything, he gives you the javelin. Well, thank you for doing business with just Unther, and I hope to see you back again, good sir.
See you
Dythun.
again too.
This was a good exchange. I'm going to have lunch now. Wait, it's a bit late for lunch. I'm gonna have dinner now.
My friend here.
Oh,
Maybe
my
also looking. Is there anything?
My apologies.
Revis?
Well, yes, but if you have to leave, or if you haven't eaten yet, you should probably go. I will be fine. I think my friend managed to get very sturdy weapons. So
My hunger can wait. Profit cannot. Is there anything I can help you with?
right. Well, I take my glaive. This is what I am working with at the moment. A bit of a DIY project of my own making with a friend, and I would like to know if I could perhaps exchange it for something slightly better made.
Better made. I see. Glaives are not exactly very common kinds of weaponry. But let me see. Oh, one moment. He goes in the back and he comes back a little bit later with another glaive weapon, which has a very polished sheen and blade on it. Now this one, sturdy mate, similar weapon type, should be identical in the handling, but I had a traveling mage put a few enchantments on that. Make sure it cuts deeper. Make sure it's better in the hand. Should be generally familiar to you, but just better.
I'll extend my hand, just essentially asking to try it.
And it does feel lighter, but you immediately find familiarity with the movements and how it swings. It's just lighter, and it really makes the air sing where you strike with it. Oh, it looks good.
Yes, I can see. I can now see where mine is lacking, sadly. How much would this be?
330 gold pieces, to be precise. It's a bit of a weird number, but I kind of calculated the cost of getting it enchanted and everything, so 330 gold pieces.
Oh, then I'm afraid I can't afford it at the moment.
How much?
It's very good.
How much do you need?
Well, I would need 50 gold pieces.
Here, take it.
Actually, 45.
Take it.
Are you sure?
He just hands you, like, a pouch with 45 in it.
Okay. Right, then I will be taking it then.
Not just great customers, but also such camaraderie here. Beautiful. Well, the glaive's yours, the coin is mine. We have a deal, I think.
Alright. Just, try to tip me with that one.
And Rebus.
Also, DM, let me know what the glaive is.
It is basically
exactly.
a +1. It is a +1 glaive that you have acquired. So it has a +1 to attack rolls and damage rolls that you've gotten. And Dythun, you acquired a javelin of lightning for your use.
Nice.
Nice.
I like
That's
it.
nice.
All right.
DM.
Yes, please.
If I wanna buy like some better looking, thicker clothings that are not from our guild and looking ugly, how much will it be on top?
Thick, good-looking, warm clothing. I'd say you can get them at a tailor for like 4 gold pieces. They look good. They have some nice colors to them. They have nice trim work and everything, and they're warm. 4 gold pieces.
Okay, perfect.
With that kind of shopping and everything out of the way, having acquired some more items, and Rayn, would you quickly like to share what kind of items you acquired, or is that something you will show us later?
I'll show later.
Perfect.
I don't want to like. I want to get to the adventure.
Gotcha. Which is eventually, we have all the shopping gotten done out of the way, and the day is also slowly winding down.
How much for several feather tokens?
Several feather tokens.
Oh, well, at least...
At least 4?
I would... Yeah, at least 4.
You already have one on your person, by the way.
Yeah.
And?
Okay. Oh, it's special to her. Ah.
I'd say these one, like, feather tokens are basically, you can get them so easily in a city like Sharn. They're like throwaway magic items here. You can get them for 10 gold pieces per piece. These are like really common magic items.
10 gold pieces?
Per piece.
It's like a business day of enchanting, if you take like, if I'm thinking Xanathar's rules for enchanting items.
Yeah.
It's a full work day.
I can pay for 2 of them.
I'm buying 3.
I have no more money, so I can't buy
I actually have a decent amount of money still. So
and I'm buying 1 bottle of like pretty good strong whiskey for like the times where we need to warm up ourselves.
You can, if you just want whiskey to warm yourself up, you can get a bottle of that. Let's just say that's like 2 silver pieces or something.
Yeah,
that's,
okay, thank you.
No, wait, it's 2 platinum. No, it's 2 silver. So you get the whiskey for 2 silver pieces.
You know what? Count in Rain for the nice weather clothing for 4 gold pieces.
There we go. Get yourself some more fancy clothing as well.
Also, I guess Dythun, because he would, if he sees nicer clothing, he's gonna want it.
Perfect.
But Rain will still pack the guild stuff because maybe we don't know if the people we encounter might need.
It's like he already has it. Like he might as well.
Perfect. So
are we a fashion group?
Yes.
Look, if you're going to go into adventure,
well, Rebus doesn't really care. Rebus can just not wear anything and be fine. So like, I think I'll just, you know, they'll probably just keep whatever they had for.
That makes sense.
For the previous mission, for the cold.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
So, with the shopping and those preparations out of the way, you have an evening of rest before you leave, and I think this is a good moment to quickly take a break for tonight. Just before we continue with this, let's dive into a break for today. So we're going to take a 10-minute break from here before we continue. Stretch your legs, take some drinks, and we'll be back in 10 minutes here.
See you soon. We're
And we are back from our quick little break after some more preparations for the adventure ahead. We are now continuing our second half of the adventure. Before we go into that, thanks for the people chiming in today, joining us, watching us, chatting in chat. Even if you're just here watching us and you're not participating in chat, that's also fine. Thank you for tuning into this. If you like what you're seeing and you want to keep in touch with us, why don't you come and join us on our Discord, for example, or follow us on our Twitter. You can find the links down below to find our socials like Discord and Twitter. And if you jumped in here now at episode 18 today and you're like, hey, what happened in the last 17 episodes? You can check out our VODs on our YouTube, youtube.com/Horde of Tales. where you find not just this campaign, but also one-shots and the shorts that we publish from time to time, which are a bit of like the funny highlights from a campaign. So if you like that, join us in there. And
they're very good. 100% recommended. They make me cackle every time.
With that being said, how about we continue our session of today, where we have our adventurers who have prepped their upcoming mission with whatever items they need and are provided to them. I would actually like to know, where exactly are all of you sleeping tonight? Are you just like using the rooms in the guild hall of the Adventurers Guild? Do you have someplace else where you would like to stay? Any kind of special place where you want to spend the night? I think you're muted, Ida.
No.
Nah, you go.
Sorry. Rayn would have been at the guild hall like since she arrived, since it became her guild. So unless invited elsewhere, she's just like no roommate though.
Probably same.
Probably same. Right. And Delphine and Rime also staying at the Adventurers Guild?
Yeah.
But Delphine have her own place in Sharn.
Well, she would probably go into some kind of shady harbor tavern and drink a night away.
Some kind of...
Great way to prepare for travel.
Yes, exactly. We're my time, so it's okay.
Mingling with the sailors and everyone who comes into harbor and
yes.
have a few drinks, right? While Delphine is doing that, Dythun, you're also then staying at the guild hall.
Yes.
Are you sleeping, or is there anything else that might keep you up or awake?
Yeah, I mean, he's not a heavy sleeper. Maybe just kind of absent-mindedly, like writing a letter.
Just using the light provided by the candle there. You're just in your room writing a letter.
Mm-hmm.
Is it to anyone specific that the audience can know about, or that is something that you and Dythun want to keep to yourself?
I will say it's to a family member.
It's to a family member.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I want to know the backstory. Come on.
You write the letter. Is it a long letter? Is it like really? Does Dythun fill multiple pages? Is it a single page?
I will say this. Actually did write out the letter, just for my own personal benefit. It's like 3 lines. It's not very long.
Is it a haiku?
Unfortunately, no.
Now's your chance.
I might rewrite it as haiku, I guess. I don't know.
It's 3 lines that you put to the page,
mm-hmm.
and before you finish up the writing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you do with the letter? Do you keep it somewhere? Do you store it somewhere?
He probably like goes into his backpack and there's a pouch somewhere that has like, he folds it up in an envelope and like slides it into like a slot that has like 8 other envelopes already in there.
Okay.
Just kind of something he does every now and then, but hasn't actually acted on it yet.
Interesting. So we see you put those envelopes into your bag next to the other envelopes that await there. You don't have to tell us if there's... would there be a name on the envelope to whom it is addressed? You don't have to tell us the name, but is there a name on it?
Yes, for sure.
And do all these envelopes have the same name on it?
All but one.
All but one. So we do see almost all of them with the same name, except for one with a different name. But which names those are? Dythun knows, but we don't. And we find the night passing by, and all of you gathering in the morning. Not at the Adventurers Guild, but you do know from where an airship leaves Sharn, and that is from Lyranda Tower. All of you know the way to Lyranda Tower. Some of you know it better than others. Some of you might have stalked the streets around the tower for a little while, keeping an eye on certain persons, but you all find your way to the tower, where as you ascend it in its elevators, again greeted by these pageants and servants of House Lyranda, you lift up through the elevators to the top of it and find that there is an airship docked. This airship is not glamorously painted like the clear blue sky was, with like these audacious and beautiful paintings on the hull of the ship. This airship is more functional. It is still elegant and hovers in the air powered by the elemental ring that keeps it afloat. But the design is just elegant and simple. No unnecessary frills on it. No decorations or statues upon it. No unnecessary gold ornaments or anything. Just on the side of the hull, clearly spelled out in beautiful calligraphy, the undeniable. And as you come on top of the tower, you already see Maedrith de Lyranda in front of the ship, instructing her crew. She's currently not paying any attention to you approaching, but she's just has like crewmates gathered around her in a semicircle. And as you approach, you can hear her speak these very clear, not commanding instructions, but just clear instructions to the crew. Very clearly formulating what she expects of everyone, what the next task that should be done, what to expect. And she does so in a clear but still polite way towards her crew. She doesn't try to command them. She just tries to direct what the crew is supposed to do. And once everyone is given instructions, you see all the crew members quickly salute her, and they go aboard the ship. And at that point, Maedrith turns towards you. She has this very thick coat on with like a fur collar and everything, leather gloves. And she looks at all of you. Ah, I hope you had a good rest last night, and you are prepared for the journey ahead. My cartographers have calculated that, weather permitting, and we should be careful with that sentence, weather permitting, considering where we're going, should be able to make it in between 26 to 30 hours of flight.
How rather comfortable. It's normally at least 3 weeks of swimming through rapid biting currents to get there, from my home to there.
I would assume that it's more comfortable to travel across the sun through the sky than underneath the waves.
Not a fan of water, honestly.
Oh, Dythun.
Seems acceptable. The probably approaching by air might be the wisest choice.
That's exactly why we're going with the undeniable. This ship has been serving me well, and I hope she will serve me for many more years to come. One of the newer models that comes out of the Largo production, but I won't bore you with the details. I would suggest that I point you to your quarters aboard the ship, and then we will hold the briefing for further mission details once we have started to set metaphorical sail. And she gestures up the gangplank that leads up to the ship, and she allows all of you to go aboard before she goes aboard. And once you're on the ship, you are being pointed below deck to your living quarters. And you do notice that the entire layout of the ship is a bit more symmetrical, just very more tighter than the layout was on the clear blue sky. Almost as if these ships kind of reflect the personalities of the captains who commandeer them. And your living quarters is also tight, cubicle, but still with the necessary luxuries. Each of you have, again, nice beds here, warm blankets, pillows, cabinets for any kind of clothing you might want to store for this journey, and generally enough space for all of you in your own little rooms that you are offered here.
Is there a bathtub?
There would be very small bathtubs in each room.
Okay. If there's small bathtubs in each room, Rayn might guess that the captain might have a bigger bathtub. Okay, noted.
And you do see, as you put down your bags, put everything you have with you onto the ship, soon after the gangplank is pulled in, and you notice that the ship starts moving and moves away from the tower, the Loranda Tower in Sharn, and slowly you can hear the humming of the elemental ring. This airship also has a similar blue elemental ring surrounding it, similar to the one of Darian's ship. And slowly it starts picking up pace and becoming faster as it flies. And once all of you are settled in, Captain Maedrith summons you to her captain's quarters, who are at the back of the ship, and are themselves also very tight and cubicle in design, with just a minimum of luxuries that you would expect from the captain quarters. Where Darian's captain quarters were filled with flowers and ornaments and gold chandeliers, there's just a necessary amount of Everlight candles here, shelves for any kind of maps. There's a large table here with navigation maps, and Maedrith has a desk for herself, which is way smaller than what you've seen usually in these kind of captain quarters, but still offers enough space that she needs. And as all of you enter into her office, she stands up from behind her desk, walks over to the table with all the navigational maps on them, and gestures for all of you to come over there as well, as she starts moving around pins and objects on the map. One of these objects is like a miniature of the Undeniable that she's now slowly moving from the map where Sharn is over and ever deeper into the Thunder Sea. And as she does so, she says, as mentioned, if the wind is not too much in front of us, should be able to reach a destination approximately 26 hours from now. Our navigators and crew will keep an eye out for Icewhite Isle, and once we are as close as we can get with the airship, the crew will prepare boats that can be lowered from the airship, and we will make a landing in the water. On those boats, we will, and as she says boats, she puts up 2 more miniatures of these little boats that she then puts next to the airship. Those boats will carry us for the remaining nautical 1 or 2 miles onto Icewhite Isle, where we will make landfall and start our investigation from there. I would like to have a more detailed planning of what we do once we make landfall, but alas, Information on what we could expect there is sparse, and I don't know exactly where Darien and these mercenaries from the Deathgate Adventurers Guild have exactly landed. We will have to develop a plan from there. And with us,
So
we,
I assume
I mean,
you want to join us.
I will most definitely join. My second in command.
Thank you. I'm sure we will appreciate your company.
You can be the judge of that after you have endured my company for a while. My second in command will take care of the undeniable. As you might have guessed, there's not really an airship tower on Icewhite Isle, so we have to keep the undeniable afloat for some time, but we can't do so forever. We've stocked up on any kind of fuel that we could get in Sharn, but my second in command, who also is my engineer, also told me that the Kyber Dragon Shard that runs the engine tends to get a bit hot when it is running for too long. So we are under a bit of time pressure while we're on Icewhite Isle. However we might find Darien, however we might find these other Adventure Guild members, once we have found them, we make our way back to our land point where we made landfall, go back on our boats, and I shall signal the undeniable from there to get the boats back up to the ship. Now, if you wonder how to get boats up to an airship, I've made sure they are enchanted to be able to float, so we can bring them back up to the ship. No need for any kind of falling maneuvers that Darien is so fond of. Any questions up to this point?
You have any kind of notice or anything about Darien's airship?
Gonna keep an eye up from the air, see if we can find anything where it might have come down. Worst case scenario, it's crashed somewhere into the Thunder Sea and we never find it again. Better case scenario, it crashed somewhere on Icewhite Isle and we can at least salvage from it. It's not really the perfect place to start fixing an airship.
No, but I guess getting the Dragon Shot back will be kind of important.
Most important if we start salvaging the airship. First get the Kyber Dragon Shard out of it. That's the minimum, and maybe any kind of other parts that we might want to salvage from that.
Any other bodies we should try to get except of Darien's? Because it's, as far as I remember, like, the crash of an airship is... Most people do not tend to survive that.
Assuming that Darien and whoever was with him was still on the airship. As I mentioned, he's very fond of leaping off of the ship by using feather tokens. He might have not even be on the ship anymore.
Sounds simple enough. Get on the island, survive our approach to the island rather, assuming that there are no whirlpools or a strong current even that close to landfall. Try to find by some means, and I look at, like, for example, I think Dythun and Delphine seemed okay at survival skills, like find any signs of life, and I also have arcane means to detect if life is nearby. The kind that can think as much as Darien did.
Very well then. You have all the free movement you want aboard my ship. The only thing I expect of my guests is to respect my crew, follow any of their instructions should they give you any instructions, and respect any kind of instructions that come from me, the captain.
I, for one, don't have any knowledge of airships, so I will defer to anyone who knows more than me. Very gladly.
Perfect. Rare is the man who acknowledges their own lack of knowledge. Rebus.
Does Rebus have any knowledge of airships? Whether, apart from like, oh, I've been in one, like because of engineering, or because of like having read about them, or just because like knowledge that might have been implemented in them? Like, because I never asked you, so.
It's true.
I don't know.
You would the general knowledge that you would have, which is kind of also the common knowledge about airships, is that the way they generally work is, first of all, they're made out of a wood that is that is magically light, so-called soar wood, and that's already one of the things that keep them afloat. The other part is that through something known as elemental binding, the elemental energy is bound to the airship, and that allows it to propel and move. Now, only specialized individuals can steer an airship, and they're still not very common. And you could consider yourself pretty lucky that in a fairly short amount of time you've spent time now on not just one but two airships, because there are people who go an entire life without ever setting foot on one.
That's okay. I was just curious if, like, for some reason I knew everything about airships, or had like, you know, encyclopedic knowledge, and I could be like, oh, Dythun, you don't know anything? Let me tell you about all the nooks and crannies of like the important workings of. But it's fine.
It's
That's still good
to
know.
The more in-depth details are very more specialist knowledge about how they work. So with that, Madrith just leaves you free reign of the ship. And since you have at least more than a day time to kill here, is there anything you would like to do as you slowly leave land behind you and more of the open ocean is coming underneath you?
Well, yeah. It is me. So this is my brain not wanting to work. I know there's at least one like overnight on the ship.
Yep.
Probably that first, like, anytime it comes to nightfall, Dythun has something he wants to do.
All right.
But if there's something before that, go ahead.
Sir.
I have something too, but it's fluff. But I've been curious to hear what Austin hadn't planned too.
I have something up as well.
Oh my goodness.
Would those be Delphine and Rayn? Would those be more suitable before nightfall, or just to try to like kind of timeline things here a bit?
I think it will be kind of suitable before on my side. It's like a talk with Madrith.
All right.
Mine just involves finding Delphine in her bedroom, regardless when she's awake.
All right.
When you're awake.
Okay. Let's start Delphine. So you want to have a conversation with Madrith. Would you be seeking her out to have a conversation, or how would you go about opening up the conversation?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, basically after she dismisses the group, I will basically just stay back and like, can I have a talk with you?
As you remain as the last one from the group, you say that, and she looks at you. Most certainly. What would you like to talk about?
So waiting until the rest of the group is out and gone, like... Did you know, I mean, you have been more frequently in Stormhome than I have been in the last year, so you might have catched up something. Did you have any idea or any information, or did you generally know that Baron Eshravash wants to kill me? the last time?
You know, randomly.
She like
Yes.
lowers her head a bit and she raises both her eyebrows. Come again?
I'm pretty sure you understood what I've said.
Yes, audibly, I think my ears heard the right thing. What gives you the impression that Baron Ezravash, the matriarch of our family,
Yes,
cares enough about you to try to kill you?
There was this small incident on the last mission that involved your brother, and that might have caused my death, looking like an accident. That's why I just simply wanna know.
Delphine, you must be joking.
Oh, certainly I'm not. So, and I'm wondering if there has been anything happened in the last time that this might have caused this.
You know there's a good reason that you have not been at Stormhome that much in the last years.
Yeah.
And you know
Obviously.
that also is the reason why I cannot just tell you all the little details of things that have been discussed in our families.
Yeah, of course. Power. And I'm not asking you for any dirty little details. I just want to know if there has anything happened that might be of interest, that could explain this.
Well, what I find most certainly of interest is the fact that you claim that Darian tried to kill you. Not so much that and don't take this the wrong way, not so much that I am surprised that someone would try to kill you. I don't know what kind of enemies you might have made during your seafaring years. I heard they even gave you a nickname, but you telling me this suddenly makes it a bit clearer for me why Darian would charge off on this adventure. And gives me one more reason to try and find him, hopefully alive. So I can at least have his insight on your claim that he tried to kill you.
To be fair, he didn't give me any name who ordered him to do, but I have my means of getting to know this. So that's why I know.
I see.
And before he could actually tell me, he went off on his mission. So, like, being afraid already enough to take up such a mission, instead of, like, just telling me a name and, you know, this is kind of like a proof for it.
I see. Do you think that I want to try to kill you as well?
I can't be sure, to be fair. But
That's true.
I'm here on your ship, so...
It's good that you said you can't be sure.
But still, this doesn't answer my question.
If I had any knowledge of things that might answer your question about why the Baron herself would like to kill you, I cannot give you an answer to that because I do not hold that knowledge. All I can tell you, all that I know, is that in recent years the Baron has become a bit more reclusive. And there's fewer and fewer people who know her plans. Make of that what you want.
Well, okay then. That's all what I wanted to know. So, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Enjoy your stay on the Undeniable.
Will do. And then I take my leave.
All right. Take your leave. Somewhere later then, Rayn, you wanted to make your way to Delphine's room to...
Maybe I'm there ahead of her, but it's a brief
Perfect.
chat. I don't know if maybe Dythun, this is the time for Dythun. Let me know. Otherwise, it's just a chat.
Well, I think if we have a nice overall way, then that Delphine, you would be on your way back to your room maybe, and you come into your room and you see Rayn sitting in your room.
You would see Rayn lying on your bed, but like doing a bit of cosplay. She will be wearing completely gold gilded chainmail. Very form-fitting, broad shoulders, like the kind of thing that Wonder Woman wore in like her latest movie, but like not more fish motifed, and with like her greatsword on the side, and you see her hair like pulled back in this like very severe like tail. Welcome back.
I'm mostly confused.
No, it really doesn't suit me, does it?
Well, what should I say?
Are you more into individuals with sword skills and feats of strength?
What is your plan here?
You never told me who that person I described to you was.
You know, just some important person. With some random name.
Rayn will slide out of the chainmail, just close underneath. And then use disguise self and turn into that figure and judge and try to gauge Delphine's reaction.
You basically now see a perfect copy of Baron Asravash de Loranda standing in front of you.
Lying on your bed like...
Jesus.
I will turn around and move out of the room and close the door behind me.
So I shouldn't run around the airship like this?
For fuck's sake, no!
Oh boy.
There's one of the as you go out of the
shenanigans so much. Just
as you go out of the room, Delphine, you close the door behind you. You hear through the locked door. You hear Rayn shouting, and you say, "For fuck's sake!" And there's this random crewmate walking by as you shout that, and he just looks at you. Everything okay?
Oh, come back inside, darling.
Oh. Everything is okay. Have a nice evening. And he just wanders off.
I'm gonna kill myself.
no.
No.
Sorry, Sarah's reaction is much more funny than the rest.
If I don't make you all facepalm at least once a session, I feel like I failed.
Oh,
I'm fine.
Well,
no, I'm not going back in there.
Fine. And you hear a clap.
Slowly opening the door.
The spell is undone.
Why are you even in here?
To get an answer to my question.
Which question was it again? Was it the, like, in what kind of people I am into? Or was it who this person is?
If you're offering a discount to 2 for 1, I mean.
Okay, listen. This person is quite someone very high standing. I will not give your name to them. Because in the there's most likely the case that you'll never encounter them anyway.
I mean, Darian seemed rather scared of that person.
Which is true.
Delphine technically doesn't know I was in the alley. All I did was project that name to her. That description to her.
Yeah, that's why I like her. Wait. How do you even know?
You seem to have a guardian angel. Or maybe it's a little fiend that follows Darian as punishment for his bad deeds. But if I am not yet worthy enough to know, then I guess this is my loss for today. And I'll go and pick up my chainmail and start walking past Delphine.
And before she leaves, I will grab her by the arm
Mm-hmm.
and basically whisper into her ear. This person is dangerous, you know. Then I will let her go.
I'll take this as you wanting to shield me, protect me, which is very kind and flattering of you. I mean, you strike me as this wonderful kind of person, but I find it more inviting to be let in. To spread the burden of it, so to say, rather than be kept afar. But
I just wanted to give you, like, let's say, kind of like a hint. I know you're basically capable of shielding yourself. So, and with that, I'm bidding her good night, and then I go into my room and slam the door behind me, and you just hear like a really loud "God damn it!"
Rain saunters back to her room. Just deletes the hallway, looks at whatever frames or anything. Just stretches her legs before going to bed.
All right. Well, but there might be someone here who's not going to bed yet, as later as the day passes by and it becomes night out here in the sky. All of you notice that there's kind of this coldness that seeps just into the airship. It's not terribly cold, but you notice that you're surely out on the ocean, and there's also this smell of salt and brine on the air here. Dythun, what would you like to do as a strange creature beckons in the night?
Is that the proto-cat? So Dythun spends another night like in front of like a quill and a piece of paper, probably until
silently meowing.
Yes, just in his that's his mind. That's the voice in his head.
Oh wow, Leonin.
Leonin's speech is strange.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Austin. Please.
It's all
please.
good. No.
Quality content.
The cat must know, because like it's always whenever I go to say anything.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. So he's sitting, contemplating like writing another letter, until probably midnight, and he'll just walk into the hallway. He's gonna knock on Rayn's door. I don't know if Rayn's in there.
If it's night, she's in there.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be like the middle of the night. Just knocking on the door.
If I hear a knock, I'm going to expend detect thoughts to see in my vicinity, because detect thoughts can be used kind of in this way.
Exactly. You can actually use it to kind of be aware of intelligent minds in your vicinity.
So I do that.
Okay.
What kind of surface thoughts would I get there?
Oh, Dythun, what kind of surface thoughts would Rayn get at this point?
Interesting question. Yes, you hear meowing.
Sorry. I had to.
Because there's a lot going on in his head, so I'm trying to think of what he would be thinking about.
It doesn't have to be coherent. If it's jumbled, you can describe that.
No,
jumbled.
I mean, you probably hear the name Kytha. You hear I don't know how to, like, he has a question for Rayn, but I don't know how I would word it in thought, if that makes sense.
So your thoughts are this name and this desire to ask something.
To ask something about like being royalty, I guess. Okay. Is sort of the subject of it.
Okay, so I expend the spell slot cast spent, and I'm like, oh, this is what Dythun is thinking. Oh, well, open door.
And for once, he's actually like not in his armor. he's just wearing like a simple, like probably red shirt and like whatever kind of warm clothes he bought.
You see Rayn in her usual kind of saffron dress, but her arm is a bit bloodied. She was in the middle of something.
Are you okay?
Excuse you?
Perfectly fine. Can I help you?
Do you need to address that?
Oh no, I'm almost done.
I can come back later.
You had something on your mind, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And I step back and open the door wider.
He has like a box in his hand. Do you by any chance play dragon chess?
I do.
I thought maybe we could play a game or two and discuss some things.
Interesting. I didn't know you dabbled as well. Actually, no, wait, never mind. Rayn did see this. No, Rayn hasn't seen this yet. Interesting.
I don't know. It depends on if Rayn's ever gone digging through his bag before, which seems in character.
No. Unless, regardless.
Doesn't matter.
Rayn would say something like, "You know, I had to learn this confounded game as part of training. It's been quite some time."
Yeah, it's a bit of a family pastime.
We share much in common. I gesture to a side table.
Right. He'll set it up and just kind of gesture for Rayn to sit down. You're, how should I say, in importance person. I believe somebody used the word princess, but I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Perhaps in terms of stature and rank, but that wasn't necessarily a title that was used per se. That's not quite the right label. But sure, let us equate it to something similar to this.
Right. You're kind of on your own journey.
As are you.
I was just curious how much of that journey actually was voluntary. You mentioned some disagreement with family.
Rayn starts setting up the pieces, and just kind of like makes a first move and just like shuffles a piece onto a board. I mentioned that I was the special and interesting, but not always in a positive way. My family was very stalwart, traditional, stubborn. We didn't clash. Rather, we clashed quite frequently in this manner. I wasn't forced out, so to say. I wasn't removed and had my titles stripped. Well, I don't know actually if they did in the afterthought. Who cares?
You're a lucky one.
Oh, do tell. Your turn.
He'll make a move in response. I'm in a similar situation.
Oh.
I feel, I'm not sure why, but I feel a sense of kinship with you, if that makes sense. You seemed to not question my methods with the harpies. Well, question the method, but have faith there was reason behind it, when the rest of the party didn't.
You asked for trust. I responded that you had mine. And I have to say, the methodology is rather refreshing.
I assume that trust still exists.
How to say? I trust everyone, while also trusting that eventually that trust can be broken. That way I'm not so disappointed when it happens inevitably. But it holds nonetheless.
When we get back, if we get back, I might have a favor to ask.
Oh.
Something, maybe a trip to take, if you're up for it.
A trip as in the literal sense, not in the emotional inner soul sense, because I'm good at those.
I have gathered that, but no, I'd like to take you somewhere and have you help me with something.
All right. Is this request public knowledge?
Not yet.
Noted. Is that what you wanted to ask?
Yes,
I take a piece from the board, maybe in Dythun's distraction, because Rayn knows there was something heavier on his mind.
You mentioned before, you kind of, not that I've been hiding it, but my affinity for fire.
Yes.
He takes off this, like, kind of glove that usually is, like, strapped in with his shield. And, like, on the back of his hand and on his wrist, it almost looks like the fur there was, like, burned away. And there's just this scar of, like, some kind of, like, wing design. And it's a dragon mark. This is where that comes from.
I see. Oh, I mentioned towards like the marks on Rain's shoulder, and like a half-finished like tattoo there, like maybe the size from her shoulder down to her elbow, and she pulls out like behind her ear just like a gleaming little needle. I was in the middle of something, but this one is a bit more aesthetic.
I see.
Does not convey any of the things yours does. Interesting.
Yes, my trip from my family was a little bit less mutual, let's say.
And it's related to this, pointing at the mark.
This was sort of the tipping point. differing opinions on, well, many things.
I see.
I want, there are some family members I'd like to see again, and that's kind of what I want your help with.
Mother, father,
No.
beloved retainer, Kaitha, your old trainer, an old nurse.
I'm not gonna ask how, because I doubt I'd understand.
It wasn't on purpose. I didn't know who was on the other side of my door.
My sister.
I see.
Mm-hmm. She's still, let's say, on good terms with the family.
So is my brother.
I guess it seems we have more in common.
He's the golden child. How about your sister?
Well. A bit less reluctant to please the family, but, you know. She has her roles. She's, well, may or may not be an heir to the family, but, I mean, we can go more into details. Let's say, if we don't die in a blizzard.
Yes. As two children from high households, in with a common adventuring guild in the most base of common cities on the continent, doing mundane tasks for simple coin. Of course.
Shall we, finish the game?
Oh, yes.
I thought, weren't there more? No, fine. Move.
And in between the moves, if we're just like kind of quietly playing, Rayn every now and then just kind of looks at her arm, just go like with the needle, like.
Interesting.
And the two of you take a bit more time playing this game of dragon chess. Conversing, playing, and having Rayn continue putting a tattoo on herself. The rest of the ship at this point is fairly quiet. It's dark outside. But in the distance, away from the light that is projected by the elemental ring of energy surrounding the ship, dark clouds loom, and the first flakes of snow are blown from those clouds towards the undeniable. The first whips of wind gently prod the hull of the ship. Not too much, not rocking anyone from their sleep at this point or throwing over any kind of dragon chess pieces. Nonetheless, the ship flies over the dark ocean below, and we see the undeniable from the outside, looking down on these dark, roiling waves. A few snowflakes hovering over them, and a few dark silhouettes in the waves, making their way to the darker clouds that the undeniable is heading for. And that's where we're going to end today's session of the Convergence Manifesto.
DM, would we get a long rest
happened.
in?
You would get a long rest in, indeed, yeah. All of you can get a long rest in. But you might need that long rest because, oh boy, did we have some more little details revealed here. Oh, wow. What's this with marks on people and names and... How is everyone feeling at this point?
Oh my goodness.
Austin and I did not have any sort of discussion on who the heck our characters were. We're just like,
No.
hello?
This is fun.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, copy paste, but like difference and
Things
like
are finally happening.
No, it's funny. Like, I kind of was like, yeah, I think Dythun could like feel there's like enough similarities there to like relate to Rayn, and then like it's just like more and more gets revealed, and I'm like, oh wait, okay, hold on.
wow. It's like, oh, we even both played this dragon chess. Like, okay.
You while the concepts are similar, I think there are still these nice little differences in the background, but there's enough common ground for these two characters to relate to each other. That's fun to see.
Delphine,
All
did you
right.
like the cosplay moment?
Okay, imagine you having someone laying on your bed, like in
Well, they were
armor.
cute.
It's like, what the fuck?
And Delphine just came from a conversation with another cousin of hers about another cousin trying to kill her. So maybe she wasn't in the mood for that.
Just leave it.
Ah,
Not in the mood.
okay. Next time, when life is not threatened, try again.
If this ever happens.
I just wanted to like see if Rayn got to that moment of like, now will you share?
I appreciate
And
the effort.
No, I like going through the steps.
There's a lot of interesting stuff that still can be shared between the party members while you're now heading for a magically frozen island. So I think we got ourselves again the ingredients for a recipe that we continue in the next session next week. But before we wind down here, first of all, thanks for the people who tuned in today to watch along and also chat along in chat. Thank you very much for dropping by. I hope you also enjoyed this session. We had quite a bit of shopping here, but I was also glad that we had some juicy little bits in there as well. And if you liked what you saw, feel free to join us again next week. Join us on our socials on Discord and Twitter, and catch up on our VODs on YouTube at youtube.com/Horde of Tales. Are there any other announcement we'd like to share before we head into the bunks in our own little airships? Anything interesting upcoming? Kinda, yeah?
Yet.
I mentioned this last week, but Roll for Good on Twitter is a European-based TTRPG community that likes playing games and they like to do good with it. And today they're sent out a call for players. There's going to be five or six games, different TTRPGs. There's going to be Call of Cthulhu. There's going to be Fiasco. There's going to be Corgis and Fairies. There's going to be Space D&D, and they're looking for these amazing games with amazing GMs are going to be looking for players. So definitely, thank you, Marcus. Check out their Twitter for their call for players. Because it is a European community, the time slots are European friendly. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the potential slots. But everything is going to be going towards the charity organization called World Central Kitchen, and they're an amazing organization that provides food in humanitarian and conflict zones as well, and environmental disaster areas. And they do so much good work, and a lot of the work right now is in Ukraine, but a lot of it is still continuing in other areas, like on the Texas border for all the immigrants and asylum seekers that are spending a lot of time there, also without food and proper lodging. They're helping there as well, etc. So definitely check them out and sign up if you want to be a player on a streamed game on the last weekend in May. I'm going to be an MC for them. Yay! So you're gonna see me that weekend.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you. What else is happening for us on Horde of Tales? I have something happening at the end of this month. I think it would be cool if we got those 400 followers sooner than later. Wouldn't it be cool if we did that and had a giveaway at the same time?
Oh wow, that would be very cool, yeah. Gee, if only there was a way to reach that, to make that possible. Oh wow, imagine there's a button you could click.
How about if there's something that will happen where I'll GM something?
Oh no, that would be amazing. But how could that happen? How could that happen, Ida?
That could for sure happen if we reach at least 400 followers, because that would spice it, that would enliven things up with the giveaway. Kara, is there anything you can share about this potential giveaway?
Oh yeah, as you mentioned, 400 followers. That's just 9 people away. This is basically nothing. This is not even 2 full hands.
I can count that many.
Oh wow!
That's that many.
Tell your friends. That friend you've been meaning to tell about our stream and you haven't quite, oh, maybe they need to catch up. Tell them now. Tell them to go to YouTube and watch the shorts, see if it's their kind of vibe. Then they can catch up there with the VODs. Then they can follow us on wow, I can speak. They can follow us on Twitch and see the streams. And then goal achieved. It's easy.
Exactly.
Sounds pretty easy. Might be pretty easy. But what is in there for people who are following us, and then there's this potential giveaway. So I thought about having like a nice collection of different kind of knickknacks, like, you know, the occasional dice, maybe some figures for your now restarting real life games, you know, at the table. Sadly, we sadly don't have here, so maybe there's other nice little things in there for you to look through. So I'm not revealing too much here.
Is this like closed off to people who are in Horde of Tales?
You know, of course, people who are playing on this channel, like you and me, we are not participating in this giveaway. This is just for our followers.
Because for us, the reward is already that we get to play in this fantastic game. That's the reward we already get.
The real reward is the friends that we make on our journey.
Stab the friends and friend inside!
But, so, it means that...
No reward is the reward. What are you saying?
Yeah, where's the gold?
The reward we're working towards now is reaching those 400 followers on Twitch for a nice giveaway that we are planning, and also a chance to see Ida run a game here, which is amazing. Oh, that makes it even more interesting. So yes, please share, follow, and hopefully we get to those 400 followers pretty soon.
And I was just like, go ahead and join the Discord, because whenever I get a package of things that may or may not be ear-shaped and feline in nature, there may be an image of that posted, so you know what to look forward to the stream after that. So
best points I ever spent.
I'm gonna keep my eyes on that Discord channel, and as soon any notification I get from the Discord server, I'm going to check immediately because it could be a picture of those ears.
Absolutely.
So there's that.
Awesome.
And then one last
Magical.
thing. This Friday, we recently here on Hoarded Tales, we made a nice friend, the Angelo Murillo, who is a Latin creator. You've seen it probably on Twitter. His Kickstarter for his game Emerald Templars is going to start on this Friday. And as his new friends, there might be announcements relating to us, relating to that. So keep your eyes peeled there too.
I shared. I quickly shared the Twitter in the chat for D'Angelo. Really keep an eyes on that. Kickstarter starting this Friday. So if you want to keep on top of that, follow that Twitter.
It's a dark fantasy TTRPG where there's kind of like chaotic magic and chaotic monsters, but a lot of the world and lore is based on real cultures that are diverse and written by POC creatives and writers who bring their own experiences and expertise in said culture to influence the worlds in Emerald Templar.
Sounds fun.
Yep.
Exactly. All right. Well,
I have one more thing to add, right at the end. It's a long shot, but you know, I've recently opened commissions and I had a really good response. All the slots were taken, but I think I will have to open one extra one. I still haven't announced it on my Twitter, but if anyone is interested, I'm opening one extra slot of symmetry commissions, which are cheaper than my usual commissions for portraits, because they're symmetrical, so it's less work for me. So I can afford to make them slightly cheaper. And here's the tweet if anyone wants to figure that out. There's the guidelines and some examples. You know, exclusive info. Hit me up if you want to snatch that last slot for a cool character portrait.
Satisfied customer,
I think I'm not
100
forgetting
million
anything.
% recommended.
absolutely. Check out the tweet shared by Serial. That's the direct link to your post about the symmetry art. And of course, you should also just generally check out their Twitter account for all the art that they make, because it is super cool, it is super dope, and you should just follow them. It's just do it. It's great.
Yes, it is totally dope.
Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it. I am trying to figure out if I have anything else important to say, because there's something coming up for next week, but I think the rest is fine. So yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Perfect. All right then. I think then that's it for now. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for joining the adventure. We will be back here on this same channel at the same time, same place for already episode 19. Well, it's almost, we always had 20 episodes of this. It's going fast. But next week we're coming for episode 19 here for Horde of Tales. You're welcome to be back. Keep up to date on what we do on our Twitter, on our Discord. Join us there. Have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Take care. And see you next week.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Nancy.